Hey, what's up, everyone? Ryan Arnold, aka Demon Master Reviews here, and today, as you can clearly tell, I got a new layout for all my videos and stuff like that. I'm doing this off of my laptop via Streamlabs, and I figured today I did this before earlier, and I was like I'm not quite satisfied with it, so I ended up turning this into a retrospective, which kind of a teaser for a retrospective that I might do at some point down the road. And yeah, you can tell by the thumbnail and stuff like that and the title. This is a retrospective for a new band that Devin Townsend started called Dreampiece. Now, I got some notes here. These are all of this are notes from the band's website, which I will leave a link in the description for y'all to go and check it out if y'all are interested. But I took up some of those notes, took some of those, and was able to have them on here and be able to read them off to y'all. So, and all these were written from Devi, so pretty much. So we start obviously with the notes about the band, and all this is from Devin Townsend. Dreampiece is a long-standing project of mine that I intend to constantly keep producing that functions as music for sleeping, meditation, and relaxing. This music is not meant to be focused on or directly paid attention to. It is meant to be a sonic background to your day. It is music I write alongside all the main releases that I put out, and as such, acts as a balm for me on so many levels. I listen to this music constantly and have done for years. This isn't my next release or anything like that. It is meant to be something that exists along the way. This isn't an AI generated project. I go through the material from start to finish and enjoy making little projects out of them, naming them, releasing them immediately. My aim with this music is to provide a soundtrack for anxious minds. I hope it's of some use to you as it is for me. And that's all from Devin. So basically, in a nutshell, this essentially is just something like it's ambient music. It's meant to be used as background music and all that stuff. And so far at the moment, this is part one because this one's probably going to be going on for quite a while. It's going to probably be at lengths of like Buckethead or Frank Zappa in some cases. So that's what this is. And we start with on here, as you can see, I popped up with this album, Tryptophan. This was the first one. This is the first in the order of these releases. All this came out about a week or so ago, almost 2 weeks at this point. But about Tryptophan, he writes, this was written around Thanksgiving and was originally released as Guitar Improvisation Number 1. It is reworked here and it represents the first attempt at this format. It's a bit less developed from the others, but has a cozy, warm, little purple vibe. And that's what kind of this is. This album kind of is very much more lighthearted, much more calming, much more very light, pretty much. Obviously, I believe this is probably one of those that's over 60 minutes. There's only a handful that I can think of that are below 60 minutes. There's probably, and we'll probably get to them when we get to them. But this is one of the longer albums, one of those that's over 60 minutes. But yeah, it is very light-hearted. Hearted. Love it to death. I give it a 9.75. All of these I'm probably, except for maybe with the exception of one, maybe. But yeah, Tryptophan, I give this a 9.75. Next album, Sky Gods, and he has written here, this is a reworked version of Guitar Improvisation Number 2 and is a bit more ominous than the prior album. I like the collision of tones that occur on this. It was recorded in standard tuning, and I used a homemade box to control the sweeps that I built out of repurposing a wah pedal capacitor into a wooden box. This was the first attempt at creating my own tools to make this type of music. And yes, he mentions this is very much more darker, very much more ominous, more dark ambient stuff. Like, I've heard this kind of style before. I think I've seen a label do this kind of style before. I think they're called Cryo Chamber, and all of their stuff is more of the dark ambient stuff. And all of their artists collab together to do something kind of like in the Cthulhu Mythos stuff. I think which is still going to this day, pretty much. As I'm now getting me some, gonna be a bite to eat. But yeah, Sky Gods very much more darker, but still great. Love it. Yet another 9.75 out of 10. Love it. Next up, this is the longest of the projects, Dawn Shifter. He says about this. This is a rework version of Guitar Improvisation number 3 and is one of my favorites of the bunch. Again, I used a few homemade instruments I started building to create these sounds. I constructed a platform with a strangely wired pickup that I then fed ambient sound into and through several effects units. And that's pretty cool, but from my experience with this album, my experience with this album, it's a mix of both Sky Gods and Tryptophan. Got the light stuff, it's got the dark stuff on here. There's even some vocals on here a little bit, but they're not. If there's vocals, they're more of like background noises. They're not really. There's more of like chants and hums, stuff like that. That this and the other one, the next one we're about to talk about here in this, are kind of the only ones that have vocals a little bit. Yeah, he likes this. I do like this as well. Probably the best of them outside of the next two I'm about to talk about. But it's yet another 9.75 out of 10. Love this to death. Not much more I could say. Now we get to a little bit of interesting. This one is called Beautiful Day. Oh, the other one was called Dawn Shifter. But this one's called Beautiful Day. But he writes here, this is Snuggles, but put into the Dreampiece format as I think it needed a home. This was one of my favorite pieces of music I have made, and it's still a wonder to me. Yes, essentially, this is an album that's already been out for a while. It's been out about 2 years, pretty much. And that's Snuggles, which was part of the double album, The Puzzle / Snuggles, which was kind of something a little bit different from what he's used to doing, doing and stuff like that. This wasn't technically a normal release. Technically, the album before, or the most recent album he did last year, Life Work, which I do own. But obviously, this is Snuggles. It's just reworked. One of only a few that have the vocals and stuff like that. This is one of the shorter ones, by the way. This is about 30, a little over 40 minutes. So it's the shortest album amongst all of these projects, I believe. But yeah, this is one of 3 of the shortest albums that we got on this. I believe along with the puzzle, I give this a 10 out of 10. And I still give it a 10 out of 10 in this one. This one is the best of them. But again, this is an older release, and I still absolutely love it. Obviously, I'll probably be talking about it when I do a Devin Townsend deep dive. Devin Townsend is solo. Nothing with Devin Townsend Band, Devin Townsend Project, Strappy Young Lad, or Casualties of Cool. None of those. Not even this either. Although this might get a lot of albums. But I wanted to do this as a retrospective thing. But yes, this one I still give it a 10 out of 10 from the original version. I kind of personally prefer the original version. The vocals kind of feel a little bit more muffled in this case. But I'll still give it a 10 out of 10 because I still love this one. So yeah, that's Beautiful Day / Snuggles. Next one is called Snow Day. Now this one was also an older release. He writes, this was originally released as Dreampiece Online and has been reworked to fit into this format. And I feel I began to find my footing on this one, and it's a subtle thing to get right. This is a minimal and evocative piece, and I listened to it a lot. So these next few ones are kind of the same. Just I think in some cases it's kind of the same as say Dawn Shifter, but not as it's kind of in the middle pretty much, where it's not fully transitioned into the dark. Still, the dark stuff is still there, but it's not as often. But I love this release. It's an older release again. First time I've listened to this one, and yeah, I give this one a 9.75 as well. Well, not much I could say about this one. So now I'm wanting to do these next two kind of similar because because they're kind of similar here. So we got Space Oyster and Pond Skimmer here. Well, both are kind of the same. I'll show that this is Space Oyster. This is Pond Skimmer. Skimmer, I'm not gonna show them too often here, but about Space Oyster first. We had a lot of snow in Vancouver last year, and I spent a lot of time outside shoveling, and I played this on repeat for months. I listened to it a lot on tour as well. Space Oyster was the working title, but it just kind of stuck. And then Pond Skimmer. A few friends and I needed to skim debris off of a pond this summer, and I would work on this in the morning and then play it while we were skimming on a speaker. It's a good memory. But I believe Pond Skimmer is kind of the third short one that's under an hour. Um, Space Oyster is a little over an hour. But both are pretty much the same musically, at least to me when it comes to this. Both I gave 9.75s. Really great. But overall, as you could probably tell, aside from this, definitely a 9.75 for everything, even the new ones too. But like I said, the best one of the bunch is this one. Beautiful Day / Snuggles. It is the best of the bunch. The best of the new ones, pretty much, is this one, Dawn Shifter. This Shifter. And then I probably would have I'd probably have. I think number two would probably. I think out of the new ones, basically, this one's the best one, and then I think I think the first three are kind of at the top, but I know Dawn Shifter is probably the best one, and then the bottom, the more recent two, the new ones are probably at the bottom a little bit, and then if I were to insert, Beautiful Day and Snow Day, they're probably kind of somewhere in the middle of the two, pretty much. But yeah, this has literally been my review. Well, part one at least, because knowing this is going to be a working title and stuff like that, Um, that because there's going to definitely be more of these in the near future. So I will always look forward to these. So thank you all for watching. This has been at least part one of don't know how many there will be, but if you enjoyed this, click the like button or the dislike button. Comment below what your thoughts are on all of these, and if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button. So yeah, thank you all for watching. This has been my kind of a retrospective-ish video, kind of a retrospective, kind of a teaser for one for this band. You know, I'll continue to do more of these. I will see y'all later, and as always, keep things metal.